You are now within seconds of horror because we are going to be looking at some creepy videos on the internet. And as always, let's go ahead and get right into today's video. Now, for quite some time, I have been talking about these flying things, these things that look like flying serpents. One of the very first times they would appear was in the skies above Texas during the April 8th solar eclipse. And now, for whatever reason, they have been appearing quite frequently, mainly during very big events. For example, they appeared during Hurricane Milton, Hurricane Helene, and they really appeared in the skies above Los Angeles during those really bad fires. They were really flooding the skies. This was one of them that would appear during a live news segment. Some people thought that maybe a fire hydrant had exploded or something more natural occurred, and that's what we're seeing here. But there were many other examples of these things in the skies that day. Flash forward, and it seems like the news has once again captured one of these on camera. You can hear this newscaster, he's talking about the blood moon, and as soon as he says the blood moon, you can see something zoom past.
A live TV broadcast.
I think you'll look right now and you can see Bellingham Tower 10 showing that full moon that's out there. We had the eclipse earlier in the evening, last night, I guess it is now, and it's actually called the worm moon this month because it's time of year the worms come out of the warming ground, apparently.
Wow. Little did the broadcaster know that what was revealed right behind him over this harbor area, marina, we see again this tic-tac UFO come out of nowhere at an extreme rate of speed, kind of undulate in its flight patterns, and just right there in front of the world during this live weather broadcast.
Yeah, look at this thing, Bingham. This is where it's captured, and you see this thing disappear from the left side of the camera, and it just kind of has this nice flight pattern. It kind of goes up and down, but it has this trajectory. It's not, in my opinion, a bird or some sort of bug. This is something way off in the distance over that marina.
During a live TV broadcast.
What was captured by this news station in Bellingham, Washington, is indeed very similar to what was captured by this news station in Los Angeles during the LA fires. Even the movement is very similar in how it swoops. I don't know if this is some kind of drone, some kind of entity, or something else altogether, but it's fast, it's very fast, and it has to be a nice size. In my most recent video on Minutes of Horror, I said I saw dozens of these in the sky during the blood moon. I had no way to prove it because I did not have my phone on me, so it was hard to prove, but other people also had recorded the same thing. Now, there was pushback saying how it could be AI or fake, but here we have, once again, the news capturing one of them live on camera. Now, you might be saying, well, what big event happened in Washington? I don't know, but one did appear again during the April 8th solar eclipse. So it makes sense that they would appear once again during another eclipse, this time a blood worm moon. In this next creepy video, I am a big fan of topics about the simulated universe, glitches in reality, the Mandela effect. Now, while I know that this is not everybody's cup of tea and I'm not here whether to prove it's real or it's fake, I am just very interested in the discussion. Last night I was laying in bed not bothering anybody, just browsing Reddit, when I came across an older news story. Many of you may be familiar with this news story. It has to do with 33-year-old Erin Valenti. I was so lost in my thoughts about this story last night that I even made a post on the conspiracy side of Reddit asking, what do you believe happened here? Right now there's nearly 200,000 views, nearly 500 upvotes, and multiple shares. Because it's such a bizarre case. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and do a big breakdown or make a big segment about this news story because, like I said, many of you may already be aware of this story. I'm just going to go ahead and do a very quick breakdown. Erin Valenti, 33 years old, was a Silicon Valley entrepreneur and the CEO of a tech startup company. But the thing is, this was not your average tech startup company, as she was working with AI, neural interfaces, and machine learning. Her company, Tinker Ventures, focused on cutting-edge AI applications for finance, business, and beyond. She was working with some kind of AI that could blur the lines between reality and simulation. With this technology, with this company, she flies out to San Francisco on October of 2019 on a business trip to meet other tech CEOs. Anybody who saw Erin in San Francisco all said she was in good spirits. She was communicating with friends and family, and everybody that spoke with her said there was nothing outside the norm. Now, Erin was last seen on October 7th of 2019. Her last known communication came via a phone call with her mother. During that call, Erin seemed to be disoriented and speaking in a manner that raised concern. As Erin was talking to her mother on the phone, she was driving back to the airport so she could fly back home. But Erin's mother noticed that she wasn't making much sense as she was talking. She was talking very fast and erratically. Erin would tell her mother she's coming home for Thanksgiving, but at the same time, she would say, "It's all a game, it's a thought experiment, we are in the Matrix." And then she would finally say, "I'm going to miss my flight." On October 7th, a Delta flight for Salt Lake City left without Erin Valenti on board. Her family would report her missing. There was a big search conducted for Erin Valenti, which was called off 5 days later when she was found deceased in the back of her rental car on a residential street in San Jose. According to her family and investigators, there were no signs of any physical harm. An autopsy was conducted and they found no drugs in her system. Medical examiners could not determine how she passed away. They said she was healthy, she did not have a heart attack, she did not have a stroke, she did not have an aneurysm. So the only determination they could come up with is that she passed away due to natural causes from an acute manic episode. That is right. She passed away because she had an episode of insanity. They do not know why she stopped driving to the airport, how she ended up in the back seat. There were no clues that she was driving with somebody else. Business Insider, who was heavily following the case, reviewed the autopsy, and again, it was ruled that the manner of her passing was natural and it was just sudden in the setting of an acute manic episode. Though this did not explain what ended the life of the 33-year-old tech founder. Did this manic episode trigger a heart attack, an aneurysm, a stroke? Again, no. That was that. That was the final determination. Now, during this 3-day business trip designed for leaders in the tech field, she did call her mother and tell her that she was excited, she found something, and that she was starting something new. Was this something new, some sort of new technology, something to do with AI? Was she experimenting with something? Because this would go hand in hand with her final phone call to her mother, where she told her this is a thought experiment. It's all a game. We're in the Matrix. Working with this new experiment or technology, did she uncover some kind of terrifying truth or some kind of terrifying secret that caused her to lose her mind? But still, the question happens to be, how did she really pass away? Because not many people buy the fact that she just passed away from an acute manic episode, and that was that. What was triggered by this acute manic episode? Erin's family felt like authorities and investigators were not taking this case seriously enough. They were just sweeping it under the rug. Authorities said that in their review of Erin's medical records, that during her final manic episode when she was talking to her mother on the phone, this was brought on by an emerging psychiatric disorder that Erin was not aware of. But her family, they are still not buying this explanation. They are saying that her final phone call was completely out of character. Due to the mysteriousness surrounding this case and how there are not many answers, and it feels like this was swept under the rug, many people feel like Erin stumbled upon something that she should not have. What should also be very interesting to note is that around the same time, on October 1st, 2019, another tech CEO, Tushar Atri, he would also lose his life in California. Tushar Atri, he was abducted from his home and stabbed, again losing his life in the process. Does this have any connection to what happened to Erin Valenti? We really don't know because, again, there are not many details. Valenti said that we live in a simulation, it's all a game, and she passed away. I do not know if we live in a simulation or within the Matrix, but this next creepy video comes from Shawnee on TikTok, who talks about her own experience with a possible glitch.
Just listen. A glitch in the Matrix story. So just listen while I pack eggs because it's insane and it happened today. So I bought a house in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing around me. This is relevant. So I leave today to run to the grocery store real fast to get something for dinner. And I pull out of my driveway. I go to the end of the road. And when I get up to the end of the road, the car that turns the corner to come down my road passing me is my old self in my old car. It's me. What is that? So when this happens, I have this flash of a memory of me getting lost out here when I was younger. I didn't know where I was. And at the time, cell phones didn't have GPS on them. I never had GPS in a car. And I was lost out here. And I drove down this road. Like, what? And this is the middle of the day. I'm not tired. This wasn't a hallucination or like some strong memory that happened. And I was just like, it became real. No, this happened. It was a glitch that it's just so insane. I don't know what that was about. It freaked me out. I saw myself. It was me in my old car. And it was me in my old car before I hit a deer in it eventually, because then I got a car after that. So, like, what was that? So, does that mean it makes it true that all of our worlds are happening at the same time? Like, what does that mean? I'm so confused. I'm packing eggs. I have people coming to get eggs from me, and I'm just contemplating of what happened. It's absolutely insane. Like, I've been off for a few days. I've gotten good sleep. It has nothing to do with anything like that. This happened, and it's absolutely crazy. So I don't know if you guys had similar things happen to you, but this is absolutely crazy.
I do often wonder if the past, the present, and the future all exist at one time, along with alternate realities. Glitches occur when these alternate realities, different realities and different points of time, cross paths with one another. This could also possibly explain things like ghosts. These ghosts we are thinking are spirits might be people of another time or another reality that cross paths with ours. There is also a theory that photos and mirrors can also show us an alternate reality as well. Back in 2016, when Mike Pence was still Trump's VP, there were multiple news articles that came out that were titled, "Notice Anything Missing? Vampire photo with Trump's VP Pence goes viral." They are talking about this photo right here because, for one, in the mirror you cannot see Mike Pence's daughter, who is sitting next to him. But that's not just it. There are also a couple other oddities in this photo. It is always possible that Mike Pence is completely blocking out his daughter. Yes, that's always possible. But if you take a look at his wife, you can actually see another head sticking out in front of her. Yet this person is missing when the photo is being taken. You can also see this boy in red here sitting at their table. There is also a cup with a straw planted right on their table. Yet if you look at their actual table outside the mirror, you do not see such a cup. So I always thought this photo was rather freaky. Even taking a look at Mike Pence and his daughter, you can't even see the back of her head or her hair in the mirror. It's like you're looking at an alternate universe or an alternate reality that was captured by this photo. Now, I'm not saying this is 100% proof of an alternate reality. It could be a very well done optical illusion, but it did indeed catch the eye of many people and news articles who thought the exact same thing. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this channel and you want to see more, please subscribe. If you're already subscribed, please like, as any engagement does help the channel grow.